My name is Jessica Miller, and I am a part of Camp Wieuca. I was asked to share with you all a moment where I really felt connected to Christ while I was at Camp Wieuca. And so I began thinking about it and I realized that there weren't just a couple of heartfelt moments that I really felt connected to Christ. It was the entire time that I felt God's presence with us. I could honestly stand up here for hours talking to you all about how great Camp Wieuca is and how it has changed the lives of not only our staff, but our children and the community around it. But for the sake of time, I'll make it short and sweet for you all. I began working for Camp Wieuca's after-school program about a year ago. My fiance and I moved from Kentucky so he could attend seminary at McAfee. Before moving, I was horrified. I don't like new changes or anything too crazy or too abrupt, so I was terrified, and I honestly had no idea where my life was headed. I really felt like I was just losing control of everything by picking up everything I had and leaving my friends and family behind, moving 7 hours away. So when we moved, I desperately searched for teaching jobs, just somewhere to belong, to where I felt like I had a family and a support system. But I didn't really have much luck. I just had this overwhelming feeling of being lost and alone. And finally, my fiance mentioned that one of his friends, Abby, worked at Wieuca and they were hiring. So I put in my application, and within the same week, I had a job at Wieuca. And so I started almost the next day. And when I started, it was like in that moment, I just felt this like hug and this hold around me, just like grasping me and saying like, I'll be okay. It was this feeling of belonging and hope that I knew that God had me in a place where I belonged and somewhere where I was going to be accepted and loved for who I was. So, the moment that I was hired, I knew that this wouldn't be like a typical employer, nothing like I'd ever worked for before. There would be more like a family, just like what Nate was saying. I was welcomed with open arms. There was no judgment. Everybody loved me for exactly who I was. I was so humbled by the grace and compassion that I could see all around me. And while our staff is amazing and great, let's be honest, the kids are the best part of this job. I normally get to work with the third grade group and have had the privilege to not only watch them grow emotionally and physically over the past year, but spiritually as well. For most of our kids, this is the only place that they have to learn about Christ. And not just learn about Christ, but to really see him in action. And just like Nate said, no, everything's not blissfully perfect all the time. You can walk over there and you'll see kids getting pushed down or maybe some mean words said, but that's part of growing up and into Christ. The best part is having people around us to support us when we stumble and fall, maybe when we don't meet the mark, but just to have people to support us and really show Christ's love. And that's what Wieuca is. Wieuca is love. There's always a place to go, whether you've had a rough day or maybe didn't do something quite right. There's always a place where you can feel loved and accepted. And so, at Wieuca, there's always someone to give you a hug in hard times, always someone to lend an ear to listen, always somebody to give you a laugh when you need it, and always a place to call home.